So today we're going to talk about a viral video from a well-known gospel singer, Burrell. This is April 22nd, 2026. So she has went viral multiple times, but this is the latest viral video. She mentioned many wisdom, many nuggets of wisdom. She mentioned, she dropped many gems, many jewels on that video in a um, very mother of the church fashion. She was very sassy with it. She was very honest. It was truthful. It was a little nice, nasty, but I think she can probably be the gospel queen of nice, nasty. But the one in particular that I want to talk about is the one that she said when she was talking about the people that try to troll her on the internet. And she mentioned that she's a mother, that she knows the cry of a child. Snap your two fingers, snap your two fingers. She is a mother and she knows the cry of a child. This is basically saying, forgive them, for they know not what they do. This is basically saying that when children are looking for attention, that they cry out. And a mother, part of being a mother, it's just certain things are activated in your years and decades and in your life of being a mother. You know which cry a child is crying out. You know when the child is hurt. You know when the child is physically hurt versus when they're emotionally hurt. You know when the child is crying out because they are hungry. You know when the child is crying out because they need something. Anytime they cry out, they need something. But you know when they're crying out because they're hungry. You know when they're crying out because they just need some attention. You know when they're crying out because it's a real cry. You know the fake cry. And in each and every one of us, we still have an inner child. The inner child, the wounds of that inner child is the thing that shows up when we are searching, when we're yearning for something, even if we don't know what it is, but we're yearning for something. So whatever wounds that you were wounded with as a child, that you may have not even noticed that was a wound. So when I say wound, I mean anything that has caused you pain as a child. And it still kind of hits a little spot for you. You may not like to talk about it. You may not like to deal with it. You may laugh about it. You may don't even think about it. You may have purposely forgotten about it. You may have, as a psychological way to deal with it or to try to live a productive life, then you may have stored it in a safe in the back of your mind as a mechanism as a coping mechanism. So, but your inner child is what is at play when we're dealing with wounds, when you're hurt, when you're angry, when you're dealing with any type of trauma. Your inner child is the one that shows up. That's the part of you that shows up. Because your inner child is going to deal with the hurt first, because they're the ones that's been hurt since they were a child. So they're the most, that's the most, that's the part of you that has dealt with the most trauma. That's the part of you that has been with you for the longest. That's the part of you that remembers. That's the part of you that attempts to help you cope, but it don't quite know how to help you cope if you have not healed. So you can heal your inner child, but the problem is many are walking around as adults with an unhealed inner child living in the inside of them. So when they are hurt, that's the part of them that acts out. That's the part of them that throws tantrums. That's the part of them, like on the Snicker video, when the person is hangry and they get a Snicker and they turn into a completely different, they turn into a sane person. So the inner child is kind of like that. It's looking for attention, and it will act a donkey. It will act a plumb donkey because it's looking for attention. It's looking for that parent. It's looking for some soothing. It's looking for affection. It's looking for love. It's looking for a hug. You may not know that that's what you need, but those are the things that you really need. When you feel the need to quote unquote troll someone else, when you feel the need to pick on, because that's basically what it is, it's adults, picking on people, on other adults, because they want to make their inner child feel better. They want to feel more important. They want attention. And especially if you got something about you. If you got something about you, someone with a wounded inner child will make them feel better if they can be the one to pull this person with the, like Burrell said, with the audacity. So if you can be the one to crack that person with the audacity, then I will look like I have more audacity. Just that thought process even sounds childish. That thought process sounds very juvenile. But that's the thought process of someone with a wounded inner child. But when you're a mother, and I'm not talking about a woman that has had a child, I'm talking about a woman that mothers children. You can be a woman that has had kids and you actually mother, meaning that you nurture, you heal, you show affection, you soothe, all of those things. So when you do all of those things, that means that you have to pay close attention. You can, and as an adult, as a woman, you can heal the inner child by the way you deal with people. You can heal their inner child. You can also be nurturing. You can also be affectionate. You can also, speak to that inner child. And that's healing to people. That's what people are looking for, but they don't know that that's what they need. They don't know what it is that's missing. They don't know what they're yearning for. So they tend to act out just as a juvenile would. You can call it nice nasty. You can call it bullying. You can call it trolling. You can call it, that's just the way that they are. You can call it many things. You can call it an attitude. You can call it many things. But something about the person with the audacity triggers the inner child in someone who is still walking around with a wounded inner child. If your inner child is healed, you will not feel good picking or trolling or bullying or being nice nasty. You will not feel good being that way towards someone else, because that doesn't make you feel good. When you have a healed inner child, you are all about healing. You are all about things that are nurturing, things that are of growth and expansion and healing and better and good. And, that's what you're all about. You have no time for trolling. You have no time for picking or bullying or nitpicking or even paying that close attention, because you're trying to nurture your own garden. That's what people with a healed inner child, they're trying to nurture their own garden in those that are in their inner circle. They nurture things. When your inner child is still wounded, your garden is not tended to. You have a lot of dirt in your garden, no grass, no plants, no vegetation. There's a lot of dirt. So therefore, you want to come in other people's garden and mess their beautiful garden up. Because this person has the audacity to have a beautiful garden. Well, why do they get to have a beautiful garden when I have this lot of dirt? Why do they get to have such a beautiful garden? Well, they get to have a beautiful garden because they chose to do the things that will nurture their lot. They chose to do the things that will nurture growth, that will nurture life. When you nurture death, death is what grows. Death is the thing that expands in your life. Whatever you nurture is what will grow. So when you nurture death, when you nurture stagnation, when you nurture pettiness, when you nurture superficiality, when you nurture ego, when you nurture those things will only keep you in a cycle. Those are the things that grows. Whatever you nurture is what grows. So that's what's going to grow. So just keep in mind that whatever you nurture, that is what is going to grow. If you want stagnation to grow, nurture the stagnation. If you want pettiness to grow, nurture the pettiness. If you want nice nasty to grow, nurture nice nasty. If you want superficiality to grow, nurture superficial things. And you have the flip side of the coin. If you want life to grow, nurture things that live and that keeps on living. But when you are a mother, you know the cries of your child. You know the cry of a child. You know when those are actions of someone who was never loved before. You know when those are the actions of someone who never had nurturing before. You know when those are the actions of someone who never seen someone choose themselves. You know the cry of a child, even if that child is not yours. But just from the experience of being a mother, you know the cry of any child. You know the cry when that child needs rest. Some people need rest from being a tyrant. You're tired. You're worn out from trying to kick up dirt in other people's garden. You're weary. Some people just need rest. But when you're a mother, you know the cry of a child. Even if that child is an adult, even if that child called themselves a friend, even if that child called themselves a mate, even if that child called themselves a family member, even if that child called themselves a whatever the case may be, whatever role that person is, it may even be a stranger, someone that you may not even know. But when you're a mother, when you nurture things, you know the cries of that inner child. You know what it is that they're missing, that they're longing for, that they have not even recognized that they're longing for it. So they're acting out. They're acting. And children, when they don't know how to express themselves, they get angry because they don't know, they don't quite have a wide range of emotions. They don't know how to express themselves in any other way other than anger and happiness. So they don't know the wide range of emotions. They don't know how to that there's many other ways to express themselves. So if they're not happy, the only other thing they know is to be angry. They feel something and they know it doesn't make them happy. So the only other thing that a juvenile know to do is to get angry. So that's why they appear in your life as an angry tyrant. Because emotionally and spiritually, they are a juvenile. They literally do not know any better. Literally. They have not matured to the state of different levels. There's levels to literally everything. I have said that many of times. There are levels to literally everything. So when your inner child is still wounded as an adult, emotionally and spiritually, you will be stagnant at whatever age and stage that your inner child was wounded at. If your inner child is still wounded and healing from, you know, things that happened at the age of 5, and you have not healed from those things, or you are not actively trying to heal, then spiritually and emotionally, when you get angry, when that trauma shows up again, you will act out as a angry 5-year-old. If you have a 5-year-old around you now, pay attention to how they act when they're angry. What do they do? They cry out, they're loud, they want things and they want it now. So they have no patience. They have no understanding of, you and me. They have understanding of just them. They still have to learn how to act in certain environments, you know. So when you see people as an adult acting as a angry tyrant, acting as a juvenile, dressed up in an adult costume, just know that they're still dealing with a wounded inner child. And that's what you see. You see someone that is that is in need of healing. That's what you're looking at. Someone that is in the need of healing, but they don't know it. So they're acting out. They don't know about a feelings wheel. They don't know that there's more emotions than just being angry. They don't know that they pretty much admire the person that they're so envious of. The person that irks them just that bad to where they have to act out in such a way. The person that has that audacity. They really admire that person. They don't know that. They think that they hate them. Because their admiration is misunderstood, and it has now festered into hate, because it has already went through the stages of jealousy and envy, and it has now turned into hate because it was misunderstood and it was mislabeled and misplaced. And then they start to hate themselves for admiring you. So now they really have to hate you. Because why? What do you have that they need to admire? You ain't got nothing. And to say it out loud, it doesn't even sound right to say it out loud, but I'm telling you, that is the mindset of someone who is in need of healing their inner child. So just know that although we have adults that get angry, we do have adults that know how to get angry, and they know how to process their anger. They know how to label exactly what it is that they're feeling. They know how to be responsible with their emotions and with, you know, how to show up in the world in a productive way. But you also have adult children. You have children that are stuck in adult bodies. You also have children that are stuck in adult bodies. And the scary thing about it is that it's so common now that we deal with so many wounded people that are still dealing with wounded their wounded inner child, because they don't know. We deal with it so much, and it's so common, and people pick up the actions of the people that they hang with. So it's like contagious. So when you're in an environment where you have a lot of people that act this same way, that becomes the norm. And then it may trigger someone else's wounds. And since this person is acting that way, so now they, like that spirit kind of moves around in that group. And that's why we're dealing with so much of it, because it's normal. That's the norm nowadays. That's the norm. And you have so many communities that promote that. And that's what they see online. That's what they see on TV. That's what they are seeing in their inner circles. That's what they see in their families. No one's trying to heal. Not healing and being toxic is promoted and celebrated. So that's why the journal, my journal, Edify My Soul, a 30-day journey of transformation, is so imperative. That's why I feel that it's needed right now. It's needed because we have so many people that are still wounded, trying to just get through life. Journal about it. Journal about whatever it is that's on your mind. That's why I get on here and do the journal prompts every Monday. Every Monday, I do a journal prompt to give you something to write down in your journal entry section of that journal. And I will have the journal in the description box below. But because some people may not even know what to write down. So that just kind of gives you something to kind of go off of until you figure out how you want to journal yourself. This is just to kind of give you a boost, a head start, so to speak, until you figure out your own way that you would like to journal. Things that you would want to write down. But pretty much you can just write down whatever it is that you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, how your day went, how, goals that you may have. You can talk about your goals. You can journal pretty much about anything. But it's very therapeutic. It's very healing. To heal your inner child, do something fun. Do something that makes your inner child happy. What is something that you wanted to do as a kid? Did you like riding bikes? Ride your bike. Did you like swinging? Go to the park and swing. Now, don't take the swing from a child. Be respectful to the children because it's their space. So don't take a swing from a child. But, swing, go swimming, go, skip, jump on a trampoline. If you don't, if you don't have a trampoline, like if you don't have a child that has a trampoline like in the backyard, then you can get a rebounder in the inside of your house, and that's good for your circulation anyway. That's good for your lymphatic system. But jump on a trampoline. Do something that makes your heart smile. Do something that makes your inner child smile. But we do have so many people that are still wounded. We all are kind of wounded. We all are wounded. But the thing is that you have to work on your healing. You can't just be wounded and that's the end of the story. You have to heal. You have to actively work on your healing. You can't just do something one time and again, that's the end of the story. No. The story never ends. You are actively writing your story right now as you're living. Your life is your story. You are a living storybook. So let's work on healing that inner child. Do things that are soothing for you. Do things that are easy. Do things that make you smile. Not a fake smile, but that makes your heart smile. I'm not talking about a superficial smile, a smile where you're just smiling, with your lips. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a smile where your eyes are smiling. Like you got a twinkle in your eye because you are genuinely happy. You can tell the difference between a painted on smile and when you're smiling from the inside. Like when someone is laughing, when it's a fake laugh versus a real laugh. When it's a genuine laugh, you can tell the difference. So let's work on healing the inner child. Go on to Amazon, purchase the journal, Edify My Soul, a 30-day journal of a 30-day journey of transformation written by myself, Siobhan A. Hampton, and it's on Amazon. I will have the link in the description box below. But until next time, stay vigilant and let's continue to heal.